The Frankly Speaking Root Pan, brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. Welcome back to Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV Big Fox. I'm your host, Frank Acomb. We are broadcasting from the Hesselson studio, and in that virtual studio, it's Whey Jennings. Thanks so much for being on the show.
You bet, man. Thank you for having me.
This sounds like kind of an interesting, maybe departure, correct me if I'm wrong, from something that you may normally do, and it's a holiday concert. Are you typical in holiday concerts?
Well, it's a concert we're doing during the holidays.
Okay.
It's a Whey Jennings concert. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. So it's because I saw you probably 2 years ago in Tioga, Pennsylvania, and so it's a great show. But you will be doing one song with the Hornell High School Choir, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Did they get the pick, or did you pick?
I think they picked it, but I'm glad they picked the one they picked.
Oh, okay.
Hallelujah together. So.
Oh, that's a great one. Oh, how perfect. Do you have to arrive early to practice with them, or are they going to be all ready?
Yeah, I was kind of planning on it. Yeah. I'd like to go through it at least once before we do it.
Yeah. So you mentioned it's a typical Whey Jennings concert. What is a typical Whey Jennings concert?
Well, it's a family fun friendly, kind of concert, but it's kind of upbeat. There's all kinds of different things that happen during my concert. Play a little bit of my grandfather's music, play a lot of my own music. We're gonna party, we're gonna praise God, we're gonna sing some love songs. We're just gonna have an enjoyable experience. Is what we're gonna do.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Now, when you mentioned your grandfather, what's it like, kind of living with that legacy? Do people have different expectations for you?
Well, yeah, but it's just I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be, man. I try to be myself, pretty much.
Yeah. Did you know that you always wanted to get into music?
No, I didn't. Well, I did when I was a young kid. Whenever I was a young kid, I ran out on stage with my grandfather. It was the funniest experience of my childhood. But right about in the teenage years, I went out there and froze like a deer in the headlights. So I changed my route at that point.
Yeah.
I just decided I was going to go work on a cotton farm. So.
Wow. Well, that's completely different.
Yeah. I did that for about 10 years. Mm-hmm. Then I decided to throw my hat in the ring in music. And it's been a rough ride, but it's been pretty good and fruitful here lately.
Yeah, that's great. Do you enjoy the touring aspect?
I do enjoy touring. I've always enjoyed the touring. These days I'm trying to keep like a fine balance between, career and family. So sure. It's a little bit more expensive traveling these days, so I try to get right back home to my family. But, it's worth it.
Yeah. And again, the concert is Hornell for the holidays. Concert Sunday, December 7th at 2 p.m. So obviously you mentioned your grandfather. What music did you listen to growing up?
I listened to all kinds of music growing up. My parents had extensive record collections, so I listened to everything from Leonard Skinner, Guns N' Roses, all the way up to, Waylon, Merle, and Willie. Yeah. And everything in between, and then when I got into about high school, we started listening to absolutely everything. It's shock culture in high school. It's like all the music hits you at once from all directions. Yeah. So I've been influenced by all of it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And when you look back at it, for someone that hasn't seen one of your shows, what would you say your heaviest influence is when you perform your own songs?
I'd say a little bit of all of them, honestly. I mean, of course, my grandfather had a huge effect on my music career and songwriting, but I usually just try to hone in what I'm feeling at the time and do my own thing, Try to make it my own. I don't really listen to the radio a lot just because I don't want to steal people's ideas.
Yeah, yeah.
I get in there and I pretty much write poetry and then kind of put music to it after that. So.
Do you have a favorite song that you perform?
Favorite song that I perform? Probably Hallelujah, because it's really brought my children together, and it was just a song that's had a huge impact on my life because I started doing it right when I got sober and right when I'd given my life to God. And it's just, people love hearing that song, and it's just, I love performing that song. So.
And I mean, this sounds kind of like a naive question, but how important is your Christian walk in your day-to-day life?
Oh, more important than anything, anybody who knows me knows that it's God, family, country, and in that order, So it's, you got to put God first in everything you do, because if you don't, it's just going to fall apart, And a lot of people look at life and they're like, how can you put your faith in front of your family? Because I'm like, without your faith, you have no family,
Right. That's a perfect way to
put it in that order.
That's a perfect way to put it. And this comes from, and you mentioned it a little bit, your background, having went through some bumpy rides, right? That you overcame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was addicted to drugs for about 27 years, and I did everything you could get your hands on, you know. And I met my wife probably about 6 years ago, and I felt like I had lost her because I, you know, was doing the same old me. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. I decided at that point it was probably a good time for me to listen to my manager and just go to rehab and get everything put back in order. And I was given two choices when I did that. They said you can go through regular rehab or you can go through a faith-based rehab. And you know, I've wrestled with God my whole life. I mean, my mama always had an open Bible in our house, and I'd read at it, and I read at it for different reasons throughout the year. And a lot of times I'd read at it to prove it wrong, and there just wasn't no proving it wrong.
No.
So I chose the faith-based path, and I've had a good relationship with God ever since.
That's amazing. How important getting through this was music to you as well, to start diving into this career?
Well, it's very important, you know, because I guess music has been very therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I call it my own therapy. You
Yeah.
know, it's because it's really a way for me to talk to myself without looking like I'm crazy. But you know, I write down the way I feel on the way I feel on paper. You know what I mean? And I like to get with other people who also write music and we're like-minded, and we bounce ideas off each other, and we come up with some really good stuff most of the time.
And that's what I'm going to ask, because not that long ago, I interviewed Bill Anderson, right? Whispering Bill Anderson. And it's so interesting to hear the different perspectives, different processes that people have when they're writing their own music. Not everybody does it the same.
No, music can come about in so many different ways. Like it come from poetry in the music. It can come from music in the words. It could come from, you know, just a thought you have. The thing about it is, you know how many songs have just been lost in the wind?
Yeah.
Because somebody forgot to write them down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just, a song is a thought with the music.
Yeah.
Pretty much what it is. It's like, this is what I'm going through right now, and this is what I'm going to write down. And sometimes this is what I'm going through, and this is what I forgot to write down. You know, it's just, it just depends, you know?
Yeah. Do you carry like a notebook on you so you don't forget?
Well, I used to. These days I just type it up in my phone usually.
Oh, yeah.
But one thing I like to do is just walk in with a blank sheet of paper with people and just come up with some, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I want to write about. And then we start from that and move forward, because what they're feeling and what they feel towards what I'm feeling usually turns into something completely different than what either one of us is feeling, and it just turns into something great.
That's wonderful. Now, what kind of projects are you working on next?
I want to do a really upbeat, fun album next. You know, I want to do. You remember how Toby Keith used to just put out them really upbeat, cool, funny albums?
Yeah.
Because I remember something he said back in the day that was just, it hit me. You know what I mean? It's like, I spend all my time writing all of these deep songs and all this, just pouring my heart into this art, and then my biggest song of my career is Red Solo Cup.
It's true.
I'm like, that makes a lot of sense, man. It's usually the fun songs that are just, you know, come out of nowhere. Like, that can be said for my career too. I mean, to this day, the video that has the most views of mine on YouTube is a song called Caught Up, and it's just a funny song about a relationship.
Yeah.
Know?
Well, that'd be great.
But that's what I want to do with my next album. This one I'm putting out right now. It'll actually be released in March. It's pretty deep. I went deep in every aspect of my life, and I put out probably the most vulnerable album I've ever put out. Is going to be coming up in March. But the one I'm about to start writing is just going to be a bunch of fun songs. Hopefully, I mean that's the aim.
That's the goal. Is it difficult? You mentioned the word vulnerable. Is it difficult to release something like that? Is it almost becomes too personal for you?
Yeah, it really has, man. It's been really nerve-wracking. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because when you're discussing your faith and you're discussing, you know, how you feel about your life and how you feel about, you know, all these different aspects of life, you know. There's a few songs on this album that I'm like, are people going to look at me different? You know what I mean? Because I put out a lot of partying and rocking songs back in the day, you know, and I built a pretty good fan base on it, you know.
Yeah.
Like you can find very little of my grandfather in this new album.
Okay.
You know?
Oh, interesting.
And a lot of people come to see me want to hear my grandfather, you know.
Sure.
And I get that because, you know, my grandfather's Waylon Jennings. Who wouldn't want to hear that?
Right.
You know. But this time they're going to hear me, and I'm hoping that's okay.
How long does a project like that take?
From writing to fruition, I'm still not through with it, honestly. I've gotten all the album done. The album's done, but all the videos, half of them ain't shot yet. Um, it takes quite a while. You know, I started writing this album probably beginning of last year.
Oh, wow.
But, you know, it's like you got to go through different writing meetings with different people, whoever you want to write with. You got to come up with, you don't want to rush it for sure, you know.
Sure.
That's one thing you definitely don't want to do. You don't want to rush through something and just put anything out there. You know, so the process, depending on how long it takes to write the song and how okay you're with it. If you're anything like me and it has to be 100% perfect before you want to put it out.
Yeah.
And then when you put it out, it still ain't 100%
And then you don't like it?
It's like, you know?
Yeah.
But it takes a while.
How difficult is it in today's climate to promote your music? I mean, I know social media has kind of run rampant. Does that make it easier? Does that more difficult?
Well, you know, it all comes down to the dollar, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, once you realize that, you stop worrying about stuff like that because, you know, you're not going to be able to compete with like Morgan Wallen.
Right,
You know,
right.
you're not going to be able to compete with like Post Malone, Jelly Roll, and all that, unless, you know, something happens that, you know, a big record label wants to get on board and wants to do something with it. When you're independent like me, you're really trying to feed your fan base and you're trying to feed the people who get a hold of it organically. You know what I mean? This is me, and I've put everything I can into it, and hopefully if you enjoy it and you like what you're hearing, that you'll pass it on to somebody else.
Yeah.
Because promotion these days, like throwing it out into a sea of music.
That's what I mean.
Like,
Yeah.
there's so many songs put on Spotify a day. There's so many YouTube videos thrown up a day. And, you know, if anybody knows who you are and what you stand for and the songs you're about to put out, they'll keep up with you. But as far as trying to, you know, put it out there to the masses, there's one thing people don't understand is like a lot of people think that if you post something on Facebook, the whole world sees it.
Sure.
That's not the case.
No.
It all comes down to the mighty dollar. How much you put into it, how much you put into production, how much, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just comes down to what you can do by yourself, usually.
The Whey Jennings concert is going to be on December 7th at 2 p.m., and that's at the Hornell High School. And as we said, one song will be done with the Hornell Band. And afterwards, I understand there's a meet and greet. What does that entail?
Yeah, I'm going to meet everybody at the merch booth after the show. Last thing I say in the show is like, you don't have to buy anything, but I'll meet you over at the merch booth. I'd like to shake your hand.
Oh, that's
great. I mean, and I stand over there and I talk to everybody as long as they want to talk. And when everybody's done, I go home.
Yeah. So you probably do you get sick of answering the same questions over and over?
No.
No.
Because, you know, obviously they don't have the answer yet, so I'll give it to them.
Right. And it's not working in a cotton field, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
I mean, I thank God for what I get to do and for the people who allow me to do it. So I don't mind talking to people at all, man.
Before we go, where's the best place to find out more about your career, the album coming out in March and the like?
Well, all the social media that I have, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all those. I have a website, it's weykjennings.com.
Okay.
All my tour schedules on there. A bunch of my videos are on there. You can get just about any information you want off of there.
Okay.
But other than that, just find my tour schedule and meet me at the shows.
Perfect. Well, thanks for giving us so much time, and I hope that you enjoy your time in Hornell for the holidays.
Yeah, man.
All right. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking. Stay with us.